Hello friends, welcome to my channel and thanks for watching this video. Friends, as we have ended the recent trading week, I would say this is the first time when you are hit by a global market scare after a very long time in the last couple of weeks and months, and you can see the reason all over the place. And no, after May, after a 5 6 months, you have seen this kind of news that Dow Jones tumbled by 900 point, and this is in the headline, right? And because of the new variant that has making noises all across the global market, and majorly, you know, releases a new scare on the tours, travels, aviation, hotel, everything which is related to opening up theme. Now, we all have multiple variants that we have known and gone through as a society, but the recent one, because of its spread and the kind of uh, seriousness this cause as a variant, it makes lots of sense for the market, and specifically when the market is moving at a one particular direction which is on the upward. So I don't have any other news as far as the recent news section is concerned, apart from some here and there company specific news, because everything is related to the new variant and what it has caused as far as the markets, as far as the real economy is concerned. Now, there is one thing which is also moving, and that is oil. Now, there has been, uh, I would say, a joint decision that has been taken, that all the countries will release the additional or reserve barrels they have for Brent. But now, because of this new variant, things have happened, without doing anything, and you can see oil drops 13% in a worst day of 2021, and the oil has tumbled in such a big way that it is giving unnecessary advantage for oil importing countries, where the OPEC countries are reluctant to increase the oil production now. Uh, it, it has been a surprising move in the market that we have seen because of probably the third phase, right? So these are the couple of things that we can see as far as the overall market is concerned. So the highlight is a new variant and everything is falling, and probably, as I told you, this is the first big scare that we have seen. As you can see, whether you're talking about Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P, everything is falling by more than 2%. So, welcome to another session of USA Weekly Market Report, and this is going to be an interesting one. Now, if you are following this series of USA Weekly Market Report, I have been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. So, whether you are talking about dollar, whether you're talking about trend, news may not be known, but it was very much clear that the uptrend is overstretched or was overstretched, and with a single move, Dow Jones back to its 2 or 3 months low, which it has made in the last 2 or 3 months. And if you haven't yet observed, the VIX has actually increased by 54%. So you can guess the kind of scare it has produced in the overall market. And when VIX up by 54%, those I would really congratulate to those who have made a trade on VIX, and if they have done in the last 1 or 2 days, they would have made a big amount of money. And as you can see now, it went up to $80 or more oil, and now it is trading or quoting at 68.17. So a drastic fall we have seen in the oil. Now, what will actually happen, because the oil price falls quickly, and if this is going to be the trend in the upcoming days and weeks, they are now forced without, without said by anyone. Now, in the past couple of weeks, every country, oil importing countries, are saying to, increase the production, but they don't. But now the situations have changed, and they are now in a position to do it by themselves. Else, they are going to make some, huge losses anyhow. And if the oil price is going to fall continuously, this is a big gain. I would say a windfall gain, because what will happen, the inflation will come down in a drastic manner, because a 13% move in the oil cools off the inflation in a big way, and that will uh, make this uptrend intact. So whatever we can see right now is just a short term move, and because everything is falling, including things like oil, it will be, I would say, a blessing in disguise. Right now, apart from this, we have seen so natural gas stick to its gain, but whether you're talking about rest of the commodities, most of them have fallen. Even US dollar is very strong, but it went up to nearly 97, but it is also trading at 96. So the moral of the story is everything, everything is falling all over the place, and that has happened in a single day trading session. Okay. Uh, Hopefully you are not open on Thursday, otherwise you will see a 2 day big or drastic moves. So let's go to the chart and let's see what's happening over there. So let's start with oil this time, because this is a very good opportunity, I would say. Now everybody was suffering. Now this move, so technically it has it has made a big breakdown, and as you can see over here, so this is WTI crude futures chart, and it went up to a high of $85. So from 85 to 68, this is a huge fall, I would say. A 19% fall in the Brent is actually very good, and it will definitely cool off the inflation in a big way. And if this scare is going to continue for the next couple of days or weeks, so the levels that we are going to look at now, as you can see, the upper end of the range was 77 and $76. Breakout has happened, but it was a false breakout. Now again it is falling down, and the next support we have here is $66, below which you have $62, and the big support of $57. Now, if it comes back to $57, a 30% fall is definitely going to help the overall inflation in not only the developed market but also in the developing market, cools off in a much better way. Now this makes me to do the analysis of next very interesting thing, which is dollar index. Now, when we can see that the oil is in a correction mode, and huge fall in the prices of oil can cause an ease in inflation. So whether an inflation ease can make the central banks of US not to hike their interest rate, this is going to be a very interesting situation, because if you are looking at the dollar index chart, it is very much positive, and the way it is moving uh, specifically above 95 is indeed a very bullish trend. But we have to see now. We definitely have to see. This is going to be very interesting. Now let me tell you the overall range right now. So a breakout above 95.4 was very bullish. Then it hits the high of 97, and it corrected a bit. But if you are looking at the overall range, you will see 89 and 89 on the downside, and if it continues to sustain above 95.4, you have two or three big levels, starting with 100 and can go up to 103.1 and 103.7. So this is the entire range. Now we have to see whether it will or whether it can pass the mid range or the hurdle we have here right now. If it does, then dollar will increase, but if it does not, then we have to see whether it's going to fall back again or not, right? Now, before moving on to the actual indices, we have two important charts to look at. First is, or actually the third is US 10-year bond yield, and we have seen a fall over there as well. So here we are. So this is the 10-year bond yield, as you can see, and a double bottom kind of pattern actually have formed over here. Now if you are looking at the trend, this is the upper end of the range, and if this is the thing which we are looking at, then the downtrend we have here is 1.13. so now it looks like there will be a formation, but we need further confirmation on that. But it looks like on the upside you have 1.77 and 1.69, and on the downside we have 1.13. so in this front it is also very good, right? And most importantly, the VIX and the fourth chart. Now the fourth and the, I would say, most important chart here is the VIX, CVOE VIX, and you can see there is a sharp jump in the price of VIX, and right now it is quoting above 28. So if you are using a line chart, you will see it is very near to a breakout, right? Very near to a breakout. And applying candlestick, the next two moves will be, here we are, 30.29, 36, and on the upside you have 51 and you have 54. Now this is what we have as far as the VIX is concerned. So be very much ready for the big move. So you have to be very much specific as well as observant as far as the VIX is concerned. Now let's go back to the regular index charts. So VIX is one thing, you have to be very much specific. Now one thing is very clear, that, and as well as interesting over here, that if there is a change in the price of the oil, whether it can push the inflation down, the first thing. Second thing, how the central banks will react on that. Okay, so these are the two most important things that we have here. Now looking at the price trend, so let's go to the daily chart. So this is a daily chart of Dow Jones, and it has performed in a dismal way, I would say, because the range we have here, so the breakout we have here is, or was, a false breakout, and index has indeed fallen down. So the resistance we have here is 35,671 and 35,146, but because indices is trading below both these levels, the next two support level we have here are something like this. So we have two or three support levels, let me show it to you, which can work as your near-term support. So these are your three support levels. So the first support level at 33,779, second 33,588, and the final one 33,264. So these are the levels that we are going to look at as far as the downside range is concerned. So these are the couple of levels that we are going to look at. Now this is about the Dow Jones, and as far as Nasdaq is concerned, Nasdaq has also started falling. Now I have said this thing last week. Do check out my last week's video about the trend and what I have said. And so this is the daily chart of Nasdaq, and if I draw a line like this, you will see a resistance and a support that we are going to look at will be something like this. So this is what we have. So now the resistance, Nasdaq faced a resistance near 16,000, 16,200. Now the support we can see will be, or I would say in between 14,700 and 14,370, right? So this is the support zone that we are going to look at. And let me tell you one important thing, that going below these two levels, or more specifically below 14,300, is going to make the things, I would say, much more serious, and the downside would have opened in a much bigger way. So we have to see, or I would say Nasdaq must sustain in between, or at least should have sustained in between these two levels. So right now a correction is in full force, and this is not going to be a one-day correction. So be prepared for next couple of days of downswing. But there is one very interesting as well as important development that is happening, is from the inflation, and the question is whether the central bank make their decisions on this inflation or the oil price movement, and whether they will rethink on their increasing their interest rate policy. So this is what we have here for the time being. So the market is in correction, let it over. We will definitely see some good things happening over the upcoming days and weeks, and we will see you, or we will reanalyze or make a new session on this particular segment. So this is the end of the video. If you like this content, do share your thoughts in the comment section and subscribe my channel. Lastly, take care of your family and friends.